Welcome to the Baboom podcast, your go-to source for expert tips on car stereo installation, vehicle wiring, and all things wiring related. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just getting started, we've got the advice to help you power up your ride. Get ready to crank up the volume on your knowledge and make your next wiring project a success.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really focusing on something super important if you want your car audio to sound amazing. Signal-to-noise ratio, SNR.
That's right. You know, we talk a lot about big amps, clear speakers, but SNR, that's kind of the secret sauce for truly clean, immersive sound.
Secret sauce, I like that.
Yeah. So for everyone tuning in, our plan today is simple. Cut through the tech talk, explain what SNR actually is, why it's such a big deal for your car's sound system, and crucially, how to stop unwanted noise from ruining your music.
And we're diving into an article from Baboom today. It's called Understanding Signal-to-Noise Ratio, SNR, in-car audio systems. Looks pretty comprehensive.
It is, yeah. It's a great resource. We're going to pull out the key stuff you need to know to get that crystal clear sound you're probably aiming for.
Okay, let's do it. So, signal-to-noise ratio, SNR. What exactly is it? Break it down for us.
Okay, simplest terms. Signal-to-noise ratio, SNR, it just tells you how loud your music, the signal you want is, compared to the background junk, the noise you don't want.
Junk like static,
Yeah.
hissing, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Static, hiss, maybe a low hum, all that unwanted stuff.
So you want the good sounds way louder than the bad sounds. Makes sense.
Precisely. And we measure this difference in decibels dB. So a higher dB number. That means your music signal is much stronger than the noise.
Okay.
Which, results in much cleaner, clearer audio. Think of it like an SNR of 90 dB, for example. That means the music is like over 30,000 times more powerful than the noise.
30,000 times. Wow.
Yeah. It pushes that annoying hiss way down, well below what you'd normally even notice. The article puts it nicely, making sure your music isn't fighting a losing battle against static.
Okay, that helps visualize it. So why is this so critical specifically in a car? Why should I care about SNR when I'm just driving around listening to tunes?
Well, it directly impacts the quality of everything you hear. Baboom points this out. SNR affects your bass clarity, how crisp the vocals sound, the whole range.
The whole experience, really.
Yeah, totally. And if your SNR is low, those little background noises that hiss or buzz, they become really obvious, especially during quiet parts of a song, And that just ruins the dynamic range, all those subtle details that make music great. Trying to listen to, say, a soft acoustic guitar with a constant hiss, it's just frustrating.
Ugh. Yeah, that sounds awful. Kills the mood completely.
Yeah, exactly. And it becomes super relevant if you're thinking about upgrading your system.
Ah, okay. So when I'm shopping for gear.
Yes. When you look at a new amplifier or maybe a new head unit, the SNR rating is a really key number to look for on the spec sheet.
Right.
Baboom mentions that 90 dB or higher is generally seen as excellent for car audio. Good target.
90 dB.
But, premium systems, they often shoot for even higher, over 100 dB sometimes, for that really pristine, super clear sound.
Over 100 dB. That sounds incredibly clean. So let's say I invest in a really nice subwoofer for that deep bass. I also need to make sure the rest of the system, the amp and head unit, have good SNR to match.
Absolutely, you nailed it. A high SNR in your amp and head unit lets those premium parts, like your fancy sub, really do their job without any extra noise muddying the sound. It's all about keeping the signal clean from start to finish.
Okay, got it. The whole chain matters.
Yeah.
So we know what SNR is, why it's important. But what actually causes it to be bad? What introduces that noise in the first place? What are the usual suspects in a car?
Right. Good question. Several things, really. Component quality is a big one. Baboom talks about this.
Keeper parts.
Often, yeah. Lower quality amplifiers, DCs, those are the digital to analog converters, even the head unit itself. They can just, generate their own internal noise. And that noise then gets amplified right along with your music, dragging down the overall SNR. So yeah, sometimes cheaper gear literally adds noise.
Okay, so investing a bit more in quality components can directly lead to cleaner sound. That makes sense. What else?
Installation quality. Huge factor. Well, things like bad grounding points for your amps, or cables not being shielded properly, or just messy wiring runs. All of that can let noise in or even create noise loops, seriously degrading the SNR.
Right.
Baboom actually emphasizes using good quality wires, like CCA, copper-clad aluminum, where you get good conductivity from the copper layer, but maybe save a bit on cost, and just generally solid installation methods to minimize any signal loss or noise pickup.
You hear about that a lot online, don't you?
Yeah.
People talking about meticulous installs for brands like JL Audio or Rockford Fosgate.
Need top-quality electrical wire? Baboom's got you covered. Get your 6-pack today. Each combo comes in 6 different colors and a total of 600 feet of wire. Perfect for any project, and you won't find a better price in the industry. Head over to baboom.com now to snag yours. That's baboom.com.
Definitely. And there's a good reason for it. It's not just about the fancy components. How they're installed is critical for noise performance.
Okay, so components, installation. What about the actual music files we play? Does that affect SNR?
It can, yeah. The source material definitely plays a part. Think about really low bitrate MP3s, heavily compressed files. They inherently have more digital noise and artifacts from the compression process itself. Even some streaming services, depending on the quality setting, can introduce compression noise that kind of hurts the perceived SNR.
So even with the best stereo system, if you feed it a low-quality, noisy file.
Exactly. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say. Your system can only reproduce what it's given. A clean source is fundamental.
Makes perfect sense. Anything else specific to cars?
Yeah, one more big one. Environmental interference. Your car's own electrical system can generate noise that gets into the audio path.
Like alternator whine, that buzzing sound that changes pitch with the engine.
That's the classic example. Alternator whine, ignition noise, all sorts of electrical gremlins can sneak in and mess with your SNR.
Okay, wow. So noise can come from the gear, the install, the music source, and the car itself. Lots of potential pitfalls.
There are, yeah.
So what can we actually do about it? What are the practical steps someone can take to improve the SNR in their car? How do we fight back against the noise?
Good news is there are definitely things you can do. Using shielded cables, RCA cables, speaker wires sometimes is a good start. That helps block electromagnetic interference, noise from wires running nearby.
Shielded cables, got it.
Then, choosing high-quality equipment, look for gear that specifically advertises high SNR ratings. Manufacturers know it's important. Also, look for features like noise reduction circuits, maybe.
So when I'm comparing specs,
Yeah.
higher SNR number is generally a plus.
Absolutely. Check that spec sheet. And while DIY installs can save money, sometimes professional installation is worth it.
Why is that?
Well, experienced installers know the tricks. Best places to ground amps, how to route wires to avoid picking up noise from the car's electrical system, how to make sure all connections are super solid. They're pros at noise isolation.
Okay, might be worth the investment for tricky installs.
Could be. And if you have a really persistent hum or buzz, something hard to track down, sometimes a ground loop isolator can fix it. It's a little device you put in the signal path.
Ground loop isolator, okay.
And finally, think about your whole signal chain. Keep it as clean and short as possible. Minimize things like unnecessary signal conversions. Use good quality interconnects. Just keep the path from source to speakers direct and robust.
Those are really solid, actionable tips.
Yep.
Now, Baboom also mentions some common myths or misunderstandings about SNR. Let's tackle those. What's one people get wrong?
Okay, yeah. Myth number one is probably higher SNR always means better sound.
That sounds logical, though. Higher is better.
It is, but only up to a point. The reality is, once you get beyond a certain level, Baboom suggests around 100 to maybe 110 dBB SN, the improvement becomes pretty much inaudible for most people in a car environment.
So our ears just can't tell the difference above a certain threshold.
Pretty much, yeah. Especially with the inherent background noise in a car anyway, so chasing like 120 dB SNR might not actually make your music sound any better in practice. Diminishing returns.
Okay, good to know. Don't obsess over the absolute highest number. What's another myth?
Expensive gear automatically guarantees great SNR. Just throw money at it and it'll be perfect.
If only. While high-end stuff is usually designed for better noise performance, you can still ruin it with a bad installation.
Right. Back to the installation point.
Exactly. Or maybe you have components that just don't play well together, creating noise issues. So expensive doesn't automatically equal quiet. The whole system integration matters.
It's about the whole setup, not just one fancy box. Got it. Next myth.
How about this one? Digital music files don't affect SNR. The idea that digital is always pure and clean.
But we already touched on this, didn't we? Low-quality files.
Precisely. As we said, low bitrate files, heavy compression, they introduce their own digital noise and artifacts. So the quality of your digital source absolutely impacts the clarity you hear, which is related to that overall signal versus noise idea.
Okay, so source quality always matters, digital or not. What else? Is there one more common one?
Yeah, the idea that amplifiers are the only thing you need to worry about for SNR.
Focusing just on the amp specs? Right. But in reality, every component matters. The head unit generates noise, the DAC generates noise, even the cables can pick up noise. Each part of the chain can either preserve your clean signal or degrade it.
So it really is a system-wide thing. You have to look at every single link in that audio chain, from the source file all the way to the speakers.
That's exactly it. It's a holistic approach. And, understanding all this stuff, thinking about SNR, it directly helps you get a cleaner, clearer, just much more enjoyable sound in your car.
Yeah.
When you minimize that noise floor with a good SNR, you can finally hear all those little details, the dynamics in the music, without that annoying hiss or hum getting in the way. You get fully immersed.
Makes total sense. So wrapping this up, SNR signal-to-noise ratio, it's basically the good sound versus the bad noise.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fundamental for quality car audio.
Spot on.
And when you're upgrading or building a system from scratch, paying attention to those SNR specs on amps, head units, everything, it's just as crucial as looking at power ratings or features.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's a key piece of the puzzle for great sound.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you listening. Now that you understand SNR a bit better, think about your own car audio system. Is there anything, any part of it, that you suspect might be holding back the clarity, maybe introducing a bit of noise? And perhaps, what's just one small change you could look into first to maybe boost that SNR and get closer to the sound you really want?
Yeah, give it a critical listen next time you're driving. You might be surprised what you notice. Happy tuning!
Need top-quality electrical wire? Baboom Baboom's got you covered. Get your 6-pack today. Each combo comes in 6 different colors and a total of 600 feet of wire. Perfect for any project, and you won't find a better price in the industry. Head over to baboombaboom.com now to snag yours. That's baboombaboom.com.